You're listening to Lemon's Listening Library. Discover the story behind the stories with unique and raw conversations from the people who make your favorite books a reality.
Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Lemon's Listening Library. I am so excited about today's episode. Me and Kathy have been talking about it for a while, so hold on to your seats because it's going to be a fun one. I am your host, Randy Lemons. I am joined today by my amazing co-host, Kathy. Kathy, I already messed up our introductions, so we're just going to roll with it and do a completely different introduction today.
That's completely fine. It's kind of like our book review opening, so we'll go with that. I'm
works.
Kathy Ireland. I am an avid audiobook listener and reviewer and into audiobook production, all kinds of good stuff. So we're ready to roll.
Awesome. Yep, we are so ready for this one. We're not. We're actually really not. Anyways, so if you guys are interested in looking at our Patreon account, having your services announced on the show, or getting your products out there to our platforms, head over to Patreon. It's a great way to support the show, and it's a great way to get your services out there. So now, the reason why we're all flustered and screwing everything up is because we have an amazing guest on. Stephen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. My name is Stephen Walker. I make videos online, and that's about it.
That is. There's so much more to you.
There's so much more.
Well, okay, so I make book videos online, book-related videos. But then
There
again,
you go.
my content has shifted over the 5-year span that I've been in the online space doing content. But I've landed in the BookTok area, and mainly now I play different characters from predominantly the ACOTAR series and specifically Cassian. And then I just talk about books and try to be funny.
You also read and do reviews on YouTube too.
I do that as well. You know what's funny? Anytime anybody asks me, hey, talk about yourself, I immediately don't exist anymore in my head. I don't even know what I've done in life. I don't know what's going on. Who am I? That's how I act. That's how I feel every single time. So you'll have to remind me of all the things I do, apparently. Yes, I do book reviews.
I think you sing too. Don't you play guitar and stuff and sing?
I do those things as well. I also like long walks on the beach. I like a good hike every now and then, you know what I mean? So, no, I play music, I write my own stuff. But the way people know me now is the book content. So I'm on YouTube, do book reviews. And it's funny, I got started reading what we could call, it's not really chick books because I enjoy them and I happen to be a male. But I started reading these quote-unquote chick books because somebody recommended them because I've always liked fantasy. So I did it as a joke and then started liking them. And now people want to know what I think about these books, which is interesting. Never thought I'd be here, but here we are.
I also think it's important to get, a perspective from a guy's view on our chick books. Like, I would love to know what my husband thinks about, Fourth Wing or these other books that I'm into. So I think it's just you're filling this niche thing that isn't really out there.
No, and this may be just a stereotype. Most dudes don't read fiction. If they're reading something for work, or they're reading a business book or whatever, or they're reading something for their school. But I don't know that they just sit back and open freaking fantasy books or anything fiction.
Well, or if they do, it's fantasy. They don't really get into the romance part. The romance.
I got you. Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from, though? Like,
Yeah.
I do see what you're talking about. Like, the guys almost can't have the moment to enjoy something in life. It's got to have a result.
I think I also fit into that category because I'm reading for pleasure, yes, but I'm also reading to make videos about. So it's practical in that sense. So I don't know if I had a platform, would I be reading at the same capacity? Probably, because I've always liked to read. But I have that feeling as well. The need to do something that's productive and will help me as a person.
Interesting.
Do you have an idea of where that comes from for just the general guy side of things?
But I would say, I don't know, biology. Let's just use a big word that I don't know. Because we
Smart things.
We evolved from tribes, right? So maybe it was just back in the day, the dudes went out and hunted. They needed to provide, that kind of thing. So maybe there's that, leftovers from caveman days. That sounds good. We'll go with that. Makes me sound smart, right?
Let's Let's run with that.
I could love it. No, that's awesome. And I say all the time, like, I don't have to have an opinion on stuff. I don't have to say, what it is that I think about that thing. So
Yep.
I love that you're just like, this sounds smart, right?
Yeah, that's true. I think the big lie that we believe as like a culture is that we have to have a public opinion about every single thing. And I just don't do that. I may have my opinions, but I'm not going to voice all of them. There's no point. I don't want to be another voice
Right.
in the void of craziness.
That's really nobody's business for
Yeah.
some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fine. So what was it that kind of pushed you into content creating and getting on social media?
I just had this weird thing where I would like to be the center of attention, but I want to also be hidden. I talked to my therapist about it. It's weird. But anyway, so ever since I was a kid, I would make videos. I don't know how old y'all are, and I won't ask because it's not kind to ask, but I'm 35. And I think around the early 2000s, there was this video camera. It was the transitional tape between the VCR, VHS to DVD, and it was like this tiny little box that would fit inside of a VHS because they wanted these compact video cameras. Anyway, we had one of those cameras, and I would make these videos all the time with my brother. And we'd do like the 6 o'clock news, or we would do like Jackass. We'd redo that, but as kids, so it wasn't really that. It wasn't that cool. And I was like jumping on a trampoline really high and then kind of jumping off. Oh, look how crazy they are. Anyway, so we do all these videos, and I would do these magic shows too, where I'd hold something up and I'd pause the camera and I'd drop it, and then I'd unpause the camera and it'd look like it disappeared. So I've been doing that ever since I was a kid, and it just kind of spilled over into adulthood whenever I started MySpace in around 2005-ish, 2007. And then
you gotta customize your whole profile.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I miss those days. I don't, but I also do at the same time. Because you can have your own theme song, own background.
Yep.
Just good. Everybody learned to code then. They just wanted to add all their stuff.
Yeah, no kidding.
We became like very detailed people with codes. And then around 2019, right before COVID, I got into TikTok because some people were talking about it. And back then it was just a dance app or a thirst trap app. Now it's everybody's opinions and all kinds of fun stuff. But I started making comedic videos about parenting, and then COVID hit, and then I went insane and just started making videos about every single thing, just trying out different avenues, throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. And then fast forward to earlier this year when I randomly decided to talk about ACOTAR, the first book, and people seem to like that. So I just stayed with that because, as you can tell, I've liked books. I have many books. So I just see, like, I built these shelves and they're just stacked with books. So it just kind of seems like a good place to land because I like to read.
That's amazing. So why ACOTAR?
People from church, some women from church told me to read it because they really liked it. So I did, and then I started liking it. And then we talk about it every time we see each other. I was like, all y'all read is filth. By the way, if you want to know a good spicy book series, just find some church chicks.
It's the truth. It's the truth, y'all. People are.
Yep.
You can't out them though, right? You have to like put in the clause of like, I won't tell anyone, but you can tell me.
Yeah, I mean, the place I go to is pretty open. No one cares, but
that's good.
There's one like Verity. So I read the book Verity because somebody from church recommended it, and I remember reading that going, why would you recommend this? This is nothing but just weird smut. It's not even fun smut.
That book was heavy.
It was crazy. It was, oh man.
Yeah.
She was like, oh my God, it's my favorite book. We need to have a chat. Okay. Have you talked to someone? Have you talked to someone about this? Does your husband know? Are you okay mentally? Are we good?
Blink 3 times if you really need.
Yeah. I will say this though about that book. I read it in 2 days. It kept me, I couldn't put it down. I mean, I had to put it down to sleep, but I couldn't put it down once I started. It was a page turner. So for that, it's pretty good. I get the hype.
It was so wild. So I had to stop reading it because it gave me I was so anxious reading it, but then I had to know what happened. So like, even though I didn't read it, I Googled the entire book just so I could know what happened.
Yep. Did you read the bonus chapter?
No, I stopped like 6 chapters in.
Do yourself a favor and ruin your day after this and just read the bonus chapter because it makes it even worse. You're like, oh, everybody's crazy. Okay, why is this a book?
Oh, shit. Oh, I might have to do that.
It's not that
No.
Yeah,
long.
no, I don't do well with that. As soon as it started talking about the kids and everything like
Oh,
that,
yeah,
and just
yeah.
you could get the vibe very quickly of like, well, this is gonna go downhill real fast. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm out. I like
Yeah.
my fantasy world.
Yeah, especially we have kids, and so anything to do with children, it hits different now. Because that's
Yeah.
our biggest fear, right?
Completely.
Yeah.
Anything happening to our kids.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah, right. And then you start playing it through your head. And I don't know about you, but I will worst case scenario my life all day long. And I
Oh, yeah.
have a good imagination on my own. I don't need anyone else putting all those thoughts in there.
Yeah. The minute my wife doesn't answer the phone while I'm at work, I'm like, oh, everybody's dead. They were murdered somehow. She didn't answer her phone. It's just every day. And even when I'm sleeping, I'll have just dreams about them like being in a fire. It's just horrible. It's just, I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
you. I feel you.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and just go check on everyone because of
Yep.
stupid stuff I'm dreaming about.
Yep. I always got to make sure they're breathing. So I walk up to them. Are they moving? Is their chest rising and falling? Okay, good. We're great to go. I'll check it like 5 times a night.
I had, when my youngest was, I think she was probably about 3 or 4, maybe. We lived in Texas, a big, huge house, and I heard something, and like all the bedrooms are on the upstairs, and I go and I look in the rooms, and she's not in her room, and she's down at the front door about to open the latch to go outside in the middle of freaking night.
How
I
old?
was like, she's like 4-ish.
Oh, Lord. That's
3 or 4.
terrifying.
Yeah, it was terrifying. Yeah. And then another time I did wake up. She was not in her bed, and I searched everywhere. I could not find her. I was freaking out. She was in my oldest daughter's bed on the other side, cuddled up next to her, and I couldn't see her.
Oh my God,
It was-
that's so
It was
terrifying.
terrifying.
That's the worst feeling. Waking
It
up and
is.
kid's not in there. Good Lord.
Yeah. It was crazy.
You mentioned your wife. Does she read? Do you guys read together? Is that any sort of family thing?
I mean, we don't like get in a circle and like audibly read aloud, but no, she'll read the books I read, or she'll do, not at the same time though, and then we'll talk about it. So I got her to read Fourth Wing, and now that's her favorite series is Fourth Wing. So I say
The
I
new
got
one's
her
coming
to
out
read
in
it.
January, right?
Yeah, Onyx Storm. I got it on the way. Oh well, I pre-ordered the fancy copy, so I'm excited.
Ooh.
I like that series. It's a
I
good
do
series.
too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
loved
but-
it.
Yeah, she reads the books too. Right now, she's reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I read a couple years ago and loved. That's a great book because I really like V.E. Schwab also. I like the way she writes, and I like her books. But that's where she's at now.
Very cool.
That's awesome. That's a nice connection to have with someone, right? Especially like your partner, because there are times where I just want to talk to someone about the book I'm reading, and then when they haven't read it or are not into reading, it just hits different. So
Yeah.
having someone who reads with you is awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
Does she recommend? Have you ever read any books that she's recommended? She's like, oh, this is my favorite book. You need to read it.
She's mentioned books, but I have not read them. I don't remember what they are. So that doesn't make me a very good person, I guess. She's read my books, but I can't read her books. What a jerk. What a stereotypical man.
Okay. We'll clip that part out. We'll make sure that you're still golden by the end of this.
It's all good.
No, that's so
I
funny.
have a question for you. So, about Akatar, and like you do a lot of your clips. I just saw the one with the Bat Boys on the hoverboards and stuff. Like that was
Yeah.
hilarious.
That's fucking good.
I was dying. So there's a lot of controversy out there. I just was reading, I don't know, maybe last week. There's seems like this group of people who are completely anti Bat Boys. Like, Rhysand is like an abusive dude, and all Cassian's just gonna do what Rhysand wants him to do. I didn't get that. Did you get that?
I haven't heard about that, honestly. I know that there's some red flags for all of them personally, but I haven't heard like a huge.
They're Fae. Of course they're red flags.
Yeah.
That's a topic that gets Kathy heated. She's like, they are these dominant creatures as like a a collective fae group. So yeah, that's how they behave.
I didn't know there was like you're talking about like a mass hatred for the Bat Boys. Well, I mean, there's a corner in the internet for every weird person's opinion, so I just chalk that up to that. Just a bunch of weird people formed a community about how much they hate the awesome Bat Boys. Right? Wait, y'all aren't in that community, right? I'm just crapping all over the things y'all think.
Hello, I wore this just for you. My Akatar shirt.
What's it
I have
say?
an Akatar shirt.
Look to
And you see, what does it say? Oh, it's just the
to the
thing
stars
about
who listen. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I painted that. I do a painting with a twist sometimes. And I painted, it's like a whole like book box and stuff. So no, I love Akatar. I thought it was a great series. But
it's not over yet.
Are you done with Throne of Glass?
On this book, Empire of Storms. I'm like that far in it.
Oh my gosh.
This book is great. The one before that,
Yeah.
Queen of Shadows, was one of the best books I've read in a long time. In terms of fantasy, it's just really well written. And it's a complete shift from Throne of Glass, which is like for children. It's a terrible book, but it gets really good. It's not terrible, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That first book is just rough.
Yeah. I mean, there's,
It's clunky. Like the whole thing is about the tasks, the competition. And then it starts chapters by saying, and a couple more tasks happen. I'm like, can we get some details? What are we doing here?
Yeah. No, Throne of Glass is such, and it's so crazy, like the different voice that one author can have, right? Between Throne of Glass and then A Court of Thorns and Roses, completely different voice. The worlds are so different, and it's like this is not the same author.
Yeah, that makes for a good author whenever they can just switch up like that.
But are they completely different world? I mean, kind of interconnected.
I think there's a definitely different voice. Like she tells it from a more it's just different.
That may also be just maturity as a writer, because I know that Throne of Glass was her first book, right? And she was 16. People have told me that all the time, because I make fun of Throne of Glass.
I'm sure they have.
She was 16. I'm like, okay, let's put it on the fridge then. Okay, that's how I feel about this book.
Right. Yeah, but oh my gosh. When you get through to the last one.
Yeah. I'm ready to have my heart torn out. I'm so ready.
Yeah. I freaking love Rowan. Whew. Yeah.
Careful.
With your reviews, I'm curious.
I
can't remember from your route. Sorry.
No, I was just saying he's a great character. Rowan is.
Yeah. With your reviews on YouTube, do you I can't remember from looking at them, but do you go into series, or do you just kind of do the first book in the series?
Working out my whole YouTube thing. I was just monetized a couple months ago, so I'm trying to figure out how to navigate it. But I try to break down each book. My main thing has been to do like a humorous, complete summary of the book. So I'll go through each book. And I've done that to all the Akatar books, the Fourth Wing books, and the Throne of Glass books up to this point where I'm at. And then I'm trying to also do a spoiler-free review of each book, but I have to work up. I got a couple of them out there, but not too many. So that's where I'm at now.
Those ones are a little harder. We've tried, at the beginning of our reviews, we try to do the spoiler-free stuff, and it's like, and there's this thing, and then I can't say that, and then
It's hard if you're like talking, but mine's all premeditated, and there's a lot of editing. So if I mess up, I just cut it out. So
we don't.
That's fair.
We just keep all our shit in there.
Because y'all are real people. Y'all aren't fake like me.
Not even. No, it's just we don't like that. That is, I think, just a completely different content style.
Yeah.
And also, I don't have the skills to edit like you do. So mine is like, okay, what can I do in Riverside that just cuts it out? And
well, most of the time, my editing is done in iMovie on this 2014 freaking MacBook Air. And then the rest of it I do on my phone, and I huddle over it like I'm Gollum just for hours fixing it all up. It's not fun. The editing sucks so bad. But it's worth it when I make the video. I'm like, oh, this is well polished. But if you look at the raw footage, it's like, is he all there mentally? Is he okay? He stutters every fifth word. But good work.
Do you ever worry about that? Do you ever, is that ever something you're considering, like the small clips that people consume of you, and then this longer format where you're talking and you're just kind of being more unedited? Are you like, they're going to feel like this is a different person?
Because in conversation, I don't critique myself as much. But whenever I'm recording it to be posted, I probably over-critique myself. So I'm not really messing up, but in my head I mess up because I breathed here between these two words. I'm like, oh, I don't like how I breathed like an idiot. And then that kind of stuff. So, but stuff like this is fine. But I probably would have re-recorded everything I just said if this was for like YouTube or for Instagram. You know what I mean? Like if I stutter, if I
That's fair.
breathe weird. So
Yeah.
But in conversation, I'm fine because it's a different feel, you know.
It's just us. We're just all sitting around having a little drink
Yeah.
and doing whatever.
Yep.
It also depends on the people. I mean, y'all are vibrant and awesome, but if you were just like, and what have you read next? It's like, oh, okay, well, I'll probably be stumbling over my words too. But this is good.
Yeah, no, we stumble over our words. We are I am horrible with forgetting names and all kinds of stuff, so it's all good.
Yeah. I whenever I'm making videos in my car, because they're mainly in my car in between jobs that I do, because I'm a home inspector.
Oh, that's an awesome job.
What is it?
That's an awesome job. You get paid like a shitload of money just to go look at people's houses.
We have different definitions between shitload, apparently. Whenever the market is good, I get like a certain amount per house, so it all depends on how many houses I do. So I think the most I get per house is like $50. So I have to rack up a bunch of houses per day. But it can be lucrative, but right now it's very dry because I don't know if you know this, but the housing market kind of sucks. We'll see what happens in the future, but right now it sucks. So I'm trying to get finances in other ways, but what was I talking about? Oh, I forget what I was going to say. I forget what I'm talking about in the middle of a video, and I just think, I don't even know if I'm a real person. I feel like I'm outside of my body right now, and my brain is turning to mush. So,
Yeah. Well, as soon as you hit record, it's like you have everything
Yeah.
scripted out. You know
Yep.
what you're going to say. Literally, as soon as you hit record, it's like,
Yep.
gone.
Yep, I do that.
Fucking poof.
Yep, I do that when so I had a gig last night. I played music, and whenever we started, I just immediately, do I even know how to play guitar? I don't even know, and then I figured it out instantly. But that's my first thought.
C
I don't
chord.
even.
Start
What
the
am
C
I even
chord.
holding? Yeah. Yeah. Where do my hands even go? And then I figure it out. There's always that initial, I don't even know who I am. Well, I'm an imposter.
Okay, so I have to know, have you been diagnosed with ADHD?
What?
Squirrel.
Probably. I have not been diagnosed, but I can feel the effects of it. You know what I mean? I haven't sought medical help, but I've done a few Google searches and I've landed in that space.
Dr. Google is the
Yeah.
worst.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm just listening to all the hobbies that you have going on and all the things that I'm like, oh, wow, I'm looking at a mirror of my life and everything I'm trying to cram into one day.
So let me ask you this. Do you ever get to the point where you have all these things you got to do and you sit down at a desk or this area that you're going to do stuff and you just think, I have too much to do and I want to lay on the floor and cry right now? Just get overwhelmed?
Oh, yeah. I have days where I'm just like, I'm going to go and read or I'm going to go and just take a nap. Like,
Yep.
It gets so overwhelming that you can just feel that you need a break. But then the next day, you're like, I'm going to pick up knitting.
Yep. Oh, we are the same person.
That's so funny. Do you, and this is totally just random, but do you ever do Enneagram types or things like that? Personality tests?
That was made by Satan, so I try to stay away from it. I'm kidding.
Well, I bet Satan would say you're probably a 7.
I feel like I've taken several of the Enneagram tests. I don't remember what number I am, though. I know that I'm a Pisces. I don't think it has anything to do with that, does it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Those are two different avenues to Satan, apparently.
Yeah. You gotta be careful, man. It'll suck you in quick.
Yeah.
And then,
then you're
out in the corner drinking hooch and stuff, so.
lighting candles
Keep your
and worship.
salt handy. Just keep your salt. You can put a salt ring around you.
I have this sudden urge to
Satan too, man.
sacrifice a goat right now. I don't know why, but I don't remember what number I am on the Enneagram. I have a couple books about it, but I don't know where they are, and I don't remember what number I am. You think I'm a 7, though?
Yeah, so they're like the thrill seekers. I'm a 7. So when you said we're the same person, like, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I can see your behavior and exactly how I behave, because I want the next thing. I want the next endorphin hit. I want to keep my life busy and full. And
the minute I get a new iPhone, I'm like, when's the next one coming out? Is that the same? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
It's good for fun.
Okay,
It's good
so
for
do you ever have the fear that you're missing out on something? Like there's something going on somewhere else and you're just not there and you're missing out on it?
Yeah, I'm thinking about other podcasts I could be doing right now. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Far better
Totally
than
kidding.
ours.
Totally kidding.
All right, how do we kick people off of this? There's a button, right? Like
I know what you mean. Yes, I do feel that. Yes. I was going to go on to something, but
Yep.
I lost my train of thought because I was looking at that ornament over there in that
Yeah.
tree, and I just don't even know what I'm thinking anymore. But yes, I think about that all the time. The fear of missing out. I'm trying to
Yep,
work
I
on
bet
that.
you're a 7.
I'm trying to be more in the moment. Little Eckhart Tolle action, the power of now. But it's still a work in progress.
Yeah, but being in the moment means you're not being everywhere else all at the same time too.
I know. I'm working on that. It's getting easier, but then again, it just depends on the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take
I'm
the
curious,
test and then let you know what I actually am after this.
I know. I think that would be really cool. And then you could totally do a clip of that. Be like, I was on a podcast and someone told me that I'm sporadic or something. I don't know. And then like you do the test and reveal the results. You'll bring in a whole other people of Satan followers from that.
Yeah. I need some new, different types of people. Just bring this thing all
Satan
in.
followers. I have a 2, so I don't even like identify with that. Like,
Is that strategic 2s, or is that 1?
She wants to help everybody.
I help everybody.
Yeah, I think 1s or 3s are the strategists people. Yeah. I can't remember which one.
I take in all this.
I have a book on them too.
Shelf, yeah.
Yeah, I read like the first part of it, and then when I was reading into the other parts, I started identifying with everyone else in my life, and then I was disassociating with myself, so I had to stop reading it.
It'll do that.
I'm curious now, so you gotta let us know on that one.
Watch me be like a 4. I don't even know what that would be. I don't know. I'll let you know. So, do you like to help people? What does that mean? What do you mean by that? Just like you're going to give money to the homeless, or you want to bake a cake for a neighbor because their kid is sick and stuff like that? I don't know why those 2 are the 2 examples I thought of, but do you want to hold an umbrella over an elderly lady as she's walking through the rain, that kind of stuff?
I mean, I would if that was necessary. But I'm pretty empathetic towards other people's emotions, and people come to me with their problems a lot. So
Yeah.
I have like a vault of other people's things. But yeah,
You're hoarding other people's stuff.
I guess so. But yeah, but I do enjoy. But like, I'm very much a nurturer, and so I love like cooking banana bread for other people, even if it's just like my son and his roommate. Like that gives me joy. I love doing stuff like that.
Where do you live again? Just in case I'm in the neighborhood and I need some banana bread.
I'm in Tampa.
Oh,
and I make
not close.
really good banana bread.
Yeah.
So I have a question with this is something I experienced, and I'm sure this is probably similar for you too. When you are doing all of these different things, right? When that day comes where you are just like, I need to go curl up in bed, you don't notice it until it's just like this looming shadow over you. Like it's almost like it has to get so big for you to feel it. And you can compare it to kind of like depression and stuff, but it's just there out of nowhere. It's like, where the fuck did this guy come from? And now I need to go take a 5-hour nap.
Yeah, that's so true. It just builds up. Because I think, I let a lot of stuff slide when I shouldn't. I should just take care of it then or whatever. And then by the time it gets to the point where something has to change or I have to do all these things, then it's just too much. Is that the same feeling?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It sucks that
and especially because we're trying to fill our life with other things, it's easy to spend time doing other stuff than looking at like, okay, your mental health is kind of taking a nosedive. Maybe we should focus on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's especially hard when you're on social media or you're doing online stuff, podcasting or creating other types of content. It just seems like your mental health takes the back seat because you just want to please everybody. And that's some stuff we talked about like in our notes or whatever. I've struggled with that my whole life, is people pleasing. I'm getting to the point now where it's either fix it or die. Not literally, but just I won't be a real human anymore because I'll just be giving myself out to every single person. So it sucks if you're a people. So for you, Kathy, with your need to give and stuff, are you a people pleaser? Do you
Very
suffer from
much
that?
so.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. Yeah. It's and it's hard for me to draw boundaries. Like I've learned the older I've gotten, and I'm a little bit older than you. Um so
36, right?
that's yeah, and a half.
Just a little bit
Um
old, yeah.
yeah. And so experience of being taken advantage of, like, my kindness is often, and that's just that's
Yeah.
the downside of being that kind of person is, people take advantage of it. And so I've learned I'm still learning. This is very, very, it's very hard, but to draw boundaries and be like, I can't do that, or
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that, or, I am more important than that. So it's hard. And it's, for people that are important to me, like it is very, very difficult for me to think that I have disappointed them, or that if there's something, even just like an opinion that I have disappoints them, like it's a struggle bus for me for sure.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. Maybe I'm a 2 or whatever you said you were.
You might be, because in
Maybe.
Enneagrams you can have like what, right, 2 like strengths or whatever.
Yeah, you have the main one that you are, and then when you're healthy, you go one way, and then when you're unhealthy, you go the other way. So
it's like the
yeah,
fourth.
you could be a 7 too.
It's like the fourth wing signets or whatever. You get 2 of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bringing it back to books. Let's go. Do you struggle with people pleasing,
Right.
Randy?
I do, and it going back to the 7 thing. 7s don't like negativity. I don't want negativity in my life at all. And whenever people are upset with me, that's negative. So I very much people please. And just like Kathy, learning to set boundaries was really hard. And then understanding that a boundary means that's what I'm gonna do, not what I expect you to do.
Right.
That was a hard one too, because I'm like, okay, well, you can't talk to me like that. Actually, they can, and I can't control that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave.
Yeah. That's hard to realize. You can't control anybody else but yourself. As you get a lot to control for yourself.
Yeah. Well, and also you have 1 million people who are out there to take from your cup. Like if you're a people pleaser, you have so many more people than just me and Kathy do, where, our numbers that see us are so much lower. You potentially have hundreds of thousands of people who want you to do this. Maybe you should do this clip, or can you be on our podcast? Can you do all these different things? And you're like, I can't say yes to everyone.
The opportunities to collaborate are very slim, so I appreciate y'all asking me on. So I'm not really pulled in other directions. It's mainly just the knowing that people are watching me, and every now and then you'll get a negative comment, a seemingly negative comment, because you can never really tell through text. Perhaps they're just trying to riff like I do in a video, and it just comes across as being an asshole on their part. But so I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, because if I'm making fun of something in a video and somebody makes fun of me in the comments, it's not that weird. But sometimes people are just being hateful, and it's weird. And this has been spoken about by other people, I'm sure. But you could read 100 positive affirmations, great comments, and then you hit that one comment, and it's like those previous 100 never existed. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But a wise man once said, if you live by the praises of people, you will die by their criticism. And I try to remember that so that I'm not swayed in either direction through the positive or the negative, because neither one of them are healthy.
Great saying. Can you say that again after you take your drink? Because I do, I feel
this
like
is
that's
all
like
whiskey, by the way. Just kidding.
That's fine. We don't care. I
wish
feel
it
like
was.
that's a sticker.
Same Z's.
Yep, that's a sticker. Mine's just water. But
was you talking about the quote that I said?
Yes, please, because I think that's a sticker.
If you live by the praises of people, you will die by their criticism.
Yeah, that's so good. And I think that part of that for at least this little group and what we're talking about is kind of where that comes from. Well, I'll just speak for myself. Is that for a long period of time after experiencing a long-term relationship, I came to not believe that I deserved positive, or that's okay. Well, that's kind of what I deserve. Like I get that or whatever. So it's coming to a point where you break those anchors, I guess, to your soul, to your mind. and then and believe in yourself and be like, no matter what they think, I deserve good things. I'm worthy of good things. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's kind of almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, because you have these thoughts about I'm not good enough, and then you have an action that is not a good action, or you mess up in some way, and then it just reinforces in your own head, oh, I am not good enough, and you just keep living in that cycle, and then it takes you being proactive and actually doing something of value and accomplish something to think differently about yourself.
Yeah. That cycle, that reinforcing cycle is the things like we talk about ruts in here.
Yeah.
That is that where you're spinning your tire, just digging that rut in.
Yeah.
But I think it also connects very closely with identity too, right? Like if someone, I'm pretty short, and if someone was like, oh my God, you're so freaking tall, like that's not going to affect me because I know that I'm actually not that tall.
Yeah.
So the identity piece that comes in with it, if you know who you are and you are, you're self-aware of what your actions are and where you're coming from when you're doing things, it helps negate a lot of that criticism.
That's good, Randy. Yeah, because I've noticed this in my life. If somebody comes to me, let's say they're making fun of something about me, and I'm confident in that ability that I have, that's not really going to affect me. It's the things that I'm not confident in. When somebody talks about those things, they really hit hard.
Yeah.
So it's because I don't know who I am
There
in those
has to be a
categories.
piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be some truth to what they're saying for you to latch onto it, right? Or that you believe is true.
Right.
If you believe that some piece of it, of what they're saying is true, it's going to hit hard.
Yeah. And maybe what they're saying is true, and you just haven't discovered, or I haven't discovered the fact that I'm insufficient in this area, and that's fine. I can have flaws. I don't have to be perfect in everything, but it just takes a matter of, okay, understanding, yeah, I'm not good at this thing. That's fine. I agree. At that point, you're just agreeing with them. But it's different when you don't want it to be so.
You mentioned earlier that you had a brother or brothers. Are you youngest, oldest, middle?
When did I say that?
You said you were doing, and I
know?
could have heard you wrong, videos with your brothers.
Oh, no, I didn't say that. But I do have brothers. You looked at my my Wikipedia account, didn't you? No, I have an older brother, and I have a younger brother. My older brother's, I think he's 40-something-ish, and my younger brother is 30, young 30s, lower 30s.
So you're the middle child?
Yeah, I'm the middle child. But my older brother's a half-brother, so different mom.
Peacemaker.
Well, I was thinking of like the being the funny guy, being the center of attention. I think that also is very stereotypical, but comes a lot from like, I need someone to see me.
Yeah.
Older brother gets the praise of being older brother, younger baby's the brother. Yeah. And so that's another thing of like, someone pay attention to me.
Yeah, I think the reason I like make people laugh is because I want to give joy and kindness to the world. That's an obvious thing, but also it's kind of like a defense mechanism. It's like deflecting from my own problems. Because it's almost unhealthy, what I have, because if I meet somebody new and I can't make them laugh, I feel like a failure. And I should realize not every moment is one for laughter, but for some reason I've attached who I am as a person to humor because that helped me cope through my younger years. And so it's just become a staple in my identity, and probably not in a healthy way. But if I can't make this person laugh, I have failed them as a human.
Man, that's a heavy thing to put on yourself.
Yeah, and I was talking to a therapist about this. It's actually a marriage counselor.
Got one for every day of the week, huh?
Yeah. My bill is so high I could barely eat. No, as a marriage counselor, we were talking about this, and I remember there was a point in my childhood. My dad worked a lot just to provide for us, so he was rarely there, and he was kind of like a no-nonsense kind of guy, not a whole lot of hugs and kisses, but there was one moment where we as a family were watching one of my magic shows. And he was annoyed because he's like, why am I watching this? But there was one point where I said something, and he just laughed. He like really laughed, like belly laughed about something I said. And I remember thinking, oh, that was great. I like that. And I think I've been chasing that feeling ever since, because that's like I don't know why my brain has chosen that memory as one of the things to remember, but it seems to be one that's...
It's a validation. You felt validation from someone who is important to you, that you respected and wanted his approval and love and whatever. And so that that was the validation that you got. And so that's like the that's
Yeah.
what you.
Well, I like that. So we just talked about how like you can have 200 positive comments and one negative comment. It sounds like you were getting a lot of negative comments and you chose that one positive thing to happen to be the thing to hook on. Like dad's like, he's too tired for this. He doesn't, why am I watching this? And then that one positive thing, you're like, yep, I'm the funniest guy in the world.
Yeah, it felt really good. I don't know if it was necessarily negative. It was just absence. So there was just nothing. Like a dog is happy with an owner if it beats him because it just wants some sort of attention. So negative necessarily, but it was just something. And it felt really good. So my point to all this was I think I've built kind of a character from that moment. I was obviously a funny person before that because my whole family likes to banter with each other and it's just a good vibe. But I think I kind of connected my identity to that moment and have tried to do that ever since.
Stephen, do you feel that, do you have that pressure? Do you put that pressure on yourself with the social media? Like if you feel that you're like the comments, if there's like one negative comment, is that like, and did you, is the social media and the content creation and whatever, putting stuff out there, is that a way to also kind of help, or was it maybe a way to try to help validate yourself a little bit?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Not anymore. I've gotten to the point where I don't necessarily need the validation. I'm just happy to be here on social media. But it definitely started that way. So like I said earlier, I was just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. I was doing like parenting humor. And then there was a small point where I was trying to do political humor. By the way, that takes a special type of person to make fun of all the political spectrum. You will have so many people hate you. Wouldn't recommend it for a people pleaser. So I got out of that really quick. So, because I was trying to like make fun of left, right, center. It's just, you're just going to alienate somebody. So I couldn't handle it. That was a very short time. And then I would try other types of skits because I needed that. I've also struggled with this alcoholism ever since I was 16. There was this period of time where I didn't drink. And then around 2018, I started heavily drinking. And it's still kind of a crutch. It's a vice that I'm trying to work on. I wish I could be the type of person to just have a drink with friends. What I drink turns into a bottle very quickly. But now I don't really need the validation on social media, but it definitely started that way.
Yeah, that's something that I imagine once you get that dopamine rush of, holy shit, I've got over 1 million views on this video, and then you post the next video and it gets 2,000, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not funny anymore. And so that can just be like this roller coaster of emotions.
I'm kind of confident in the idea that I am a funny person. So if a video gets 1 million and the next one gets 10,000 or maybe 1,000 or whatever, I'm like, it doesn't really bother me. I'll just do better the next video. I just think, okay, maybe this one wasn't the best one, or maybe just the algorithm wasn't on my side today. It's not a big deal. It's not that the people hate me. They just didn't see it, so it's not their fault or my fault. But I'll just try to make a better video.
Algorithm's a bitch.
Yeah, they are. My son has he's one of the funniest people I know. He is absolutely freaking hilarious. And he has such a great view on humor because his sisters, my girls, give him so much shit. They're like, that's so weird. Like, why are you? And he's like, it makes me laugh. And that's all that matters. So if you don't understand or you don't get it, that's not my problem. But as long as something makes him laugh, like he's totally great with it.
That's awesome. I know you mentioned that you found your place in the book community. Is that like how did that help your sense of identity and belonging?
About identity and well, it was nice to actually be a part of something that I really felt was for me. I know that I'm not everybody's cup of tea in the book world because some people take these books way more seriously than I do. But it was not, because I like to read. And so it was nice to just kind of slot my way into something that felt right, because I had been searching for that niche for the past 5 years on social media. But I don't necessarily feel better in my identity now, because I feel like I've kind of progressed to a point where I'm confident in who I am most days as a person. It in smaller ways, but I don't necessarily think it's just changed me. I'm just kind of, here's what it has done. I feel like I can be myself here. That's what I feel like. I'm not hiding anything from people. I'm just speaking. every now and then I'll say a joke and somebody will be offended because it's a joke. And I'll step back and say, okay, is this a bad joke? Did I mess up here? Should I apologize? Most of the time, no, because my intentions are usually good. With my humor, I'm never wanting to upset anybody. So, answer.
No,
Yeah, that's good.
actually, and I can see that because the book community, the BookTok community, but also I feel like the romance community, and more specifically, I can speak today.
We should cut
You're
and
catching
edit that. Yeah.
my disease.
Okay, more specifically, um, they're very welcoming to really pretty much anybody who wants to be a part of their world. So I and there's not a lot of judgment, right? Because many of these women, mostly women, there's some men that are in it, but it's mostly women, already feel judged in general
Yeah.
for the books that they're reading. And so it's a very tight knit community, and there's not a lot of judgment for you have to fuck up pretty good to be judged in this community as a whole.
I guess it just depends on what side, because BookTok has facets. It's not just one thing. There's different sides to it. So it just depends on where you land. I haven't had much hatred in BookTok yet, but we'll see. The night is young.
Yeah, we've probably got a couple clips here that'll push you over the edge.
Oh Lord, great. I know that
Just kidding.
it's gotten really political right now, and I try to stay away from that because I want to make people laugh. My purpose. I've been thinking about this lately. I've kind of struggled with purpose. What is my purpose? And that may be the wrong language for some people. How can I help the world in the best way? And I really think it's just to make people laugh and make people happy and give them a space to just tap out of the horrors of existence. They could just breathe here. We can have a good time together. I'm not going to preach to you. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to tell you what to think or how to think. I just want you to be in a better mood after you watch one of my videos. And I feel like that's a good place for me to be. And I feel like that's my purpose in life, at least right now.
I freaking love that, Stephen. And I want to say that I think that you have a huge, you do have a huge purpose in this, because Randy kind of touched on it earlier that there's not a whole lot of men who are in this world, other than the male narrators, who are also amazing. But, like in social media. And I mean, if you look at, I'm just saying, you look at the number of followers that you have, which is a shit ton, to the number of followers that maybe just in a random female person who's doing similar things, it's not as much. And I think it's because this is just Kathy spouting her own opinion. So don't come at me for anything, whatever. But
I'm going to write it down. Hold on. Let me write it down real quick.
Yeah, write that shit down. Write this shit
I'm
down.
tweeting it right now.
Good thing we're not recording.
Yeah.
This is all warm up.
It is a warm up. Yeah, exactly. Is that because we do get a lot of flack from men in general about the books that we read. I think it's kind of refreshing and a little bit of, but yeah, but you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I think that it's refreshing and somewhat validating to have a straight manly man who doesn't throw shade at people for what they read. You know what I'm saying? But I do. I think it's needed. So I mean, kudos.
Yeah. I have a couple of dude friends that do book stuff, but every other video is them trying to tell people what to think or what they think. And I'm like, that's fine for you, I guess. I'm not going to do that. I just want to be here to make people laugh and have a good time because life sucks. And the thing that you said about men judging women for what they read, why? I don't get that. It doesn't make sense to me. I broke away from that because in high school, it should end in high school. But for some men, I guess their high school extends to death in terms of how they think. But in high school...
Unto death.
Unto death. But so in high school, I struggled with what do the men think, and so for I think my freshman year up to senior year, I stopped reading in junior high and didn't read through high school because it wasn't cool. And then as an adult, I decided, you know what? I'm going to listen to what I want to listen to. If I like this Justin Bieber song, I don't care if this other manly dude doesn't like it. Probably drives a lifted truck because he got a small dick. Point is, this is the same type of dude that has a flag in the back of his truck for some political. It's like, why do you have a flag? Please stop. Relatives, by the way, shout out to y'all. So just the idea of a man's manlyhood being threatened by something somebody else likes. But I think it's because they have issues that they haven't overcome. So I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. They didn't come to terms with some demons in their life. They probably have mommy and daddy issues like we all do, and they just didn't figure out a healthy way to solve it. So they overcompensate their manhood and the things they like. They try to fit into this niche category of what a man is, as my voice creaks. What a man is! No need to do that anymore. You know what I mean? I just like what I like. I read there was a person, presumably a man, but I didn't see a profile picture. But the way that he said this sounded like a dude on YouTube. He said, "Why are you reading chick books?" And I just laughed. I was like, "Huh." And I commented, "Because I like them, bro." So, but that's most dudes, and I don't really care. And I think people value that. They just like the confidence that somebody just can do whatever the hell they want to do.
Yeah. I will say, as a mother of a son, I value that a lot. And I value that other men are doing what you're doing, where you're stepping up, you're authentically being yourself, because, you know, even though you might not, your content is not for, you know, mentoring young men, it is showing that someone can be into books, not give a fuck what other people think, and it's chick books, so what? That's a label that you put on it. I think it's just a good story.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. I love what they call chick flicks. I am a sucker for rom-coms. Just Matthew McConaughey, take me home, buddy. I love all the How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, all that good stuff. So I like a good story. I like romance, I like all that. And that's...
thinking that he's more too.
What is it?
I said, I'm thinking you're more and more leaning towards a 2.
A 2?
You got the
Personality type 2.
I thought I was a 10 personally, but I'll go with 2. Kidding.
No, I think what you're doing is fantastic. And like Kathy said, there's a need for, or at least there is a refreshing take on seeing someone do what you do as the man's perspective, and just kind of owning it.
Yeah.
There's not any shaming. And it's not, you know, like, I don't think we get shamed directly for a lot of stuff, but there's just the stigma of like, you're not supposed to do that. And then we take that on, and you're just like, do what you want.
Yeah.
Does it make you happy? Cool.
Yeah,
do that.
Whatever you want and just leave people alone. Why is this a big... somebody wants to infringe on somebody else's life. Yeah, why do you care so much? Just live your life. Like what you like. It just bothers me now because I'm at a place where I can do what I want to do, and where I see somebody just captured by their own inability to accept someone else's life. It's just I feel bad for them because I want them to be as free as I feel like I am.
Yeah. I have a question for you. So how did you come up with Book Brat?
It's off the cuff in a video, and all the comments were like, "Daddy, call me Book Brat again." Just a bunch of that. And I'm like, what is happening right now? Because I just thought it was funny because they both start with B. I was like, all right, Book Brats. It just sounded good. I didn't realize that there's a whole category of females, and some men apparently, that like to be called brat. And now I will cash that check every day. Now I'll write that straight to the bank. I will call you Book Brat. That's as far as my thirst trapping goes, though.
Oh, but you have merch, right? With it on there.
I do now, yeah. Because people said they liked it. Yeah.
It's so funny how the things that stick, it's like it was the authentic off the cuff thing, and everyone just like, that's the thing. That is now coined for you. Everyone who follows you is your Book Brat. Like, and then also I love the women who get excited about that because I know you. Like I see you. Like, I like being called a brat too. I like being spicy and then kind of getting reprimanded for it.
Yep. It's a big group of people. I do that. I do Book Brat. Every now and then I'll say Faye-Bay because that's fun for me. It didn't get as much of attention, but it's just another fun little rhyme. So I think somebody said that on my YouTube video. I guess that was the first time they watched it, and they said verbatim, "Daddy, call me Book Brat again." I'm like, well, here we go. There's a new fan here for the course, ladies. Another thing about male book creators, a lot of them do thirst traps. I don't do that because I'm not interested in Well, I'm interested in women because I'm not gay, but I'm not interested in getting women from my videos. So I also feel like that's a safe place for people because they know that I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? I'm not out to get anybody. I'm not trying to do stuff like that. So I
Yeah,
hope
their
that,
husbands aren't like,
yeah,
yeah, man, you've watched his video like 50 times
yeah,
today. What's going
yeah.
on?
But it's just me in my car with junk in the back seat, just talking about books. I'm not shirtless with wings on like some of these dudes. So maybe that's a safe
No,
place for people. What's funny,
Most definitely.
that's fair.
I posted on my Instagram story. I said, this was a couple months ago, or maybe a month ago. I said, I'm starting an OnlyFans. Here's the link. And I put the link to a picture of judgmental Jesus that was on Pinterest. You know what I'm talking about? And that thing had like 2,000 clicks. And I'm like, ha ha, got all of you.
No, okay, yeah, but also you just fucked up on a lot of money.
I know. I should.
You should have put it to a link to buy me a coffee.
Oh my gosh. I need to do that.
Have you seen that guy on Instagram, Will Hutchinson?
Taking notes.
That's even better.
So
Yeah, monetize, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you can go find Will Hutchinson. He does that. He has people. He has a thing, and I can't remember what it's called, but they go and send him coffee. Like they buy him a coffee.
Is that the website?
You pay for the rest of your life with coffee money.
It's a website, Buy Me a Coffee, right?
Maybe.
I've created that account, and then you just hit Buy Me, and each coffee's...
You could even, well, you don't even have to do that. You can create like a Patreon account and just do your tier as Buy Me a Coffee.
I've been told to do a Patreon by somebody who knows what they're talking about. Apparently, like in the marketing space.
Yeah.
I was just worried about content. I think that's my next... Excuse me, hold on. Coffee's coming up. Sorry. Anyway, that's my next endeavor is to start a Patreon. And I'll probably do I'll make blooper videos for my long form YouTube videos because there's a lot of them.
That's perfect.
So, and I'll just do uncensored stuff.
You don't have to have like super expensive tiers. You know, you could do like she said, you could do like
a dollar,
$1 for coffee, or
Yeah.
like the $5 a month for. I mean,
Yeah.
I've gotten on a $5 a month thing, and you forget about it.
Yeah.
$5 a month isn't gonna I don't even notice that, but you will.
You should pay attention to your bank statements, my friends. You should write those things down.
Like I do know the ones that I have on. I do, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, meh.
Yeah.
If I don't go out and look at it for 2 months, it's not a.
Dude,
well, if you think about it, okay, so you have 1 million followers. If you had, 2,000 of them send you $5, that's a lot of money. And so if you have this job, this career that you're like, it sucks right now. I actually really love this other thing. There are so many avenues that you can do that is, like Kathy said, me missing $5, that's not a lot. But 20 or 2,000 people giving you $5 is going to change your life.
Yeah. I feel so inspired right now. Thank you. But the thing about TikTok is I've accumulated 1 million followers. I think most of those are Russian bots probably. But the other ones are people that just joined in through different phases of my content. So if you look at my engagement on TikTok, it's very low. My Instagram, I have 104,000. My engagement's very high. So I'm trying to do more on Instagram. TikTok, I don't know that I really like TikTok anymore. It's just, I don't know. There's too much. And I'm also trying to do TikTok Shop to make some extra money. Yeah. I think the shop messed it up, but I am trying to indulge in it to figure that whole thing out just for money. And get free products like that broken microphone that doesn't work. Anyway,
we're keeping that in to give them another review.
Whoever made this, you suck as a human. I'm kidding. You don't suck. But this microphone does suck. Don't buy this.
But I think that it's the market, right? The target market for each platform, because so for Facebook, that is your community building platform. Yeah. Instagram is like the quick click extension of Facebook. And so that's going to be your older probably your older generations from 30 to 40 and up. And then your TikTok is going to be the younger generations, right? Because there's more millennial and.
Maybe. I know that I had 1 million followers on TikTok before I started talking about books. Mainly mainly from my parents. It was just random comedy skits I would do. I just worked up to 1 million over a 4-year span. And I haven't really gained. I've lost a bunch of followers when I started talking about books, but I've also gained enough to make it up. So I don't know how many are actually watching my stuff, if that makes sense. But Instagram,
Right.
I blew up on Instagram from talking about books. Well, technically it was because of my Christmas
Yeah.
beards from last year. I would put glitter in my beard and do Christmas in my hair and stuff, and that got millions of views. But most of my followers on Instagram are from books.
So that leads us into the next question I've been dying to ask you. You mentioned that you were interested in potentially writing a book. Is that correct?
Yeah. I started writing a book. It's called, well, I don't know what it's called, but it's a fantasy novel, portal fantasy, about a guy who tries to himself, and then he finds himself in a magical world, basically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So cool.
I mean, he wakes up out of trying to get rid of himself, and then he ends up walking into an invisible wall, and he tears back. I was going to call it The Fabric of Reality, but that sounds like a quantum mechanics book, so I'll probably change the name. But anyway, he goes into this alternate universe, but it's like a retro magical version of his town, and then he meets a couple of characters along the way, and I haven't really fleshed it out, but I'm at 25,000 words in, so. But I started it like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, fantasy books are hard though. They're like I talk to romance authors all the time, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm publishing my 17th book this month," and I'm like, "I've been on first draft for almost a year now."
Like Sarah J. Maas, she has 1,000 books. She's not 1,000 years old. How does that even work? No.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, maybe
and they're
it's not.
freaking
Maybe
huge.
it's just me.
They're freaking. I'm over here trying to meet a word count, and she's just free flowing with whatever she wants. It's crazy.
Have you read
What?
Crescent City at all? Have you read those yet?
I have not. I got to finish Throwing a Glass, and then I guess I'll
Throwing a Glass.
dabble. I have the first 2 on my shelf, but I don't have the third one because it's not available in paperback, and I need it to match the other 2.
And you just read physical copies, right? You don't do audiobooks.
Well, honestly, mostly what I do is audiobook because I drive a lot for work. Any given day, I'm in the car for about 3 hours driving between jobs. So I do a lot of audiobooks, but I have to have the physical copy riding shotgun so that when I stop at a red light, I can move the bookmark and then have it. Reach over every now and then. You okay, book? I'm not cheating on you. It's just the audio version of you. It's going to be okay. And then when I get home, I'll read the physical copy.
Oh, you okay, but do you start off where your book left off on?
Yes. I don't start over.
Okay.
No, I'm not a weirdo.
That's what I was like, holy shit.
Like whisper synced, but you're syncing yourself to...
Yeah, I do audiobooks too. I consider those my audiobook trophies.
Yep, most people do at this point because life is busy.
That's it. That's the extent of my physical books right there.
I buy more books than I read. There's a chain of bookstores in my area called Half Price Books. Every book
they're
is
the best. Are you in Texas?
Yep.
Yeah, Half Price Books is amazing.
Yeah, I love that store. I'll go in and just to the clearance section. Oh, what is that? I don't even like it. It's $1. I'm going to get it anyway. Maybe I'll read it. I'm not going to read it. So this isn't even all the. I have hundreds of books.
But it's not to me. But it's okay.
Yeah. I like the cover. I'll never read this, but I would like to find out about how squids have babies. Why not? So in my garage, I have hundreds of books that I don't know what to do with. I ran out of space. I was going to build another shelf over here.
Fantastic.
Like a little library.
I was going to build another shelf here all the way up, but I have to have room for my, was that fox? It's not a fox. It's the bird fox from Harry Potter. Just so there's no confusion.
So, okay. So you are a content creator. You are an image out there. I have another avenue for you for potential revenue. Do a date with a book. Where you bought all these books, you have a garage full of books. If you, as the content creator, who is the face of the person that they're really connecting with, is like, hey, I have a bunch of books that you can buy and have a date with a blind date with a book. They don't know what the book's going to be. It's just wrapped up, and then they buy it from you.
It's like 5. Let's just say you sell it as a blind date with a book. They don't know what it is. You probably don't know what it is either. But but they can choose basically the genre, right? So I want romantasy, or I want high epic fantasy or something. And so you, because I'm sure you already have this, maybe not, like them organized in genre. And so you would go pick a book and you could sell it for like $8, $10. Um,
And you just wrap it in something that they can't see the cover
something
of.
super cool. Maybe put like a little Book Brat sticker in there and like a little bit of merch, like swag, because that's really big, by the way, in the whole
Swag.
book community. Swag.
Right. So we are going to become your agents. We are going to become the people who do everything for you. We got you.
I'm just
Steven.
happy you're going to sow your time and do it all for free. It's going to be great. It's actually a really good idea. It's hard because I've always wanted to be a business person and kind of work for myself, but it's hard figuring out ideas and then figuring out what sticks and what could work. So, and then I end up like me and Randy are just overstimulated because we have so many things we're trying to do here.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you 100 different things, and then they'll all be half-assed, and nothing will be finished all the way.
That's where I come in, because I will bring you guys down to earth and be like, one. We're picking one.
Yeah. Everybody needs one of you, Kathy. We all need you in our lives.
Yeah.
I've gotten better at not.
That's exactly why this duo works so well.
Yeah, if you walk in my house, there's a wall. I haven't even finished painting. That was a year and a half ago. What am I doing with my life? I don't even know. I have a flower bed because I like putting things in my yard that I'm going to eventually neglect and just have more work. I have a flower bed that's not even finished because I had an idea one day. Oh, I'd like a flower bed right here. I got started on it, and then the next day I was probably learning to whittle something. I don't know. I want to make a flute today. Just wood shavings and splinters.
So I just found your sticker for this podcast. It is, I like putting things in my life that I'm eventually going to neglect.
Excellent. I'm writing that down.
I love it. So I don't know if we every show we come up with stickers for each show, and so she will make it and send it to you. You can print them and use them, put them in your little blind date with a book wrappers.
That would make sense because they may not even read the book. They're just going to neglect it.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that's
That
perfect.
would be perfect.
That is a perfect sticker.
Yeah. But I wanted to go back to what you said about that, you've never really come across something that really has kind of stuck as something that would, like your own business or whatever that you wanted to do. I really do understand that, but I feel like the right thing when it happens, it's just going to be like, holy shit, like that's it. Like that is it. Because I have always felt that. And you kind of have, and maybe men have this too more so than women, but I've always had this like, oh, I really, this kind of pressure. Like I'm super smart. I can handle, I'm a CEO of my family, so I could be a CEO of a company. And, like come up with something, but nothing has ever really, inspired me enough to like take that action until I started doing the audiobook production. And that to me has been like, this is it. This is what I want to do. This is something that I'm going to make happen. And like, I've actually done a few steps to like make it a business. So I feel like that one spark of whatever is going to like hit you and you're going to be like on your ass and be like, holy shit, Kathy was right. This is it.
Oh, she was so right. Here I am on my ass. That's the first thing I'm going to think. Kathy was right. My ass hurts. You said audiobook production. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
And is that what you do full time now, or are you, like you said, just starting?
No, I'm not doing it full time yet. I have a soul sucking job that I do full time, but as most of us do.
Did you say soul fucking job? Is that what you said?
That's
a terrible. That's a terrible thing.
I was like, oh, wow. I mean, I've never heard that.
Sex is really bad.
Oh, Kathy. To each their own.
See, I just say shit. I have no filter. It just comes out. And I'm like, oh, well, there it is.
You don't have to have a filter when it's your podcast. Why would you censor yourself on your own platform?
Okay, but to be fair, I probably should be filtered sometimes. Kathy does filter me every now and then.
Well, that's...
She's like, you should probably cut that part out.
If you had two Randys, nothing would get done on this freaking... It'd just laughter and yelling. You gotta have Kathy be like, guys, let's focus, okay? I wasn't trying to replicate your voice when I did. That's not what you sound like. Guys, let's focus. Sorry. I'll do better.
Please do better.
That's what she says to me too. Oh, we are the same person, Stephen.
Yeah.
Oh,
I also like on my end, it's me over here, and then you, Kathy's in the middle, and Randy's on the right. Is that what it looks like for y'all too?
No, for
No.
me, it's I'm on the left, Randy, and then you on the right.
Well, from where I am,
That's because
you're like moderating the two of us right now. Like, okay, let's bring it in, guys. Bring it in.
You two can't sit together.
right. Y'all are separated.
You're the teacher. They can't sit together. No. Every time they sit together, something catches on fire and someone cries. No more.
Oh my god. So we started we did this narrator spotlight thing, and we had started out with a recorded introduction to each one. It took us like an hour to record like a 30-second intro or whatever it was for like 4 different. It was because we were just dying laughing. There was no structure.
No structure. It was
I
bad.
love that. I would have had a blast. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, Stephen, is there anything that you would like to, and you don't, promoting it on our show is not going to get you any more seen than doing stuff on your show, but would you like to tell our small followers of anything that's going to be insignificant when they follow you? Because you're like, oh, I had 2 more followers.
Somebody sent me half a coffee. That was fun.
The creamer. There's no fucking coffee in there.
Yeah, I would like some coffee with this
At
creamer.
least it's peppermint.
The cup doesn't have a lid. Did you spit in this? I don't even know what is this. Let me think. Well, I'm going to start an OnlyFans after this. It's going to be called Steven.com. It's for the modest viewer. No, most of my stuff, pretty much all I have is available on officialstevenwalker.com. Steven with a V. It's not a PH. I'm not a weirdo. I'm kidding. I'm not a weirdo. V, officialstevenwalker.com. That's where all my stuff is. And I actually do have a link where you can send me a coffee. And I think they're like $5 a coffee. It's like a whole thing. But I am going to start a Patreon and probably going to be dating some books after this is done.
So we will meet this time next week, and we will review everything.
Oh, God, I got to bring my freaking stuff with me. Okay, I've got my stuff here. Yeah. I got to get a binder and fill it up with pretend analytics and stuff.
You'd just get the binder. You'd have like blank sheets in the middle, like the sheet protectors. You'd be like, Kathy, send me some sheets to have the binder.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, what was I supposed to write on this page?
I just wanted to look official. Okay, if I had a clipboard, I'd have that instead, but I don't.
It's empty.
Yeah, it's empty up here, and it's also empty in here. I need a lot right now. Okay.
Oh my gosh, this was fantastic. We could literally keep going, but I want people to watch this entire episode because it's freaking awesome, and we found out that the shorter episodes do better. So, unless we want to do like a part 2 eventually, we have to stop talking to you, Stephen.
No, that's fine. I'd love to do this again sometime if y'all are up for it.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all are a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this, and I hope hopefully I can bring some people to your podcast and we can trade viewers, if you will, trade subs,
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Or I could just give you a bunch of them.
We'll take it. We'll be very transparent. That was the only reason we wanted to talk to you. We don't think that you're as funny as you. No, just kidding.
You sound like my father right now. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Hold on. Before I forget, I got to take a picture of everybody so I can post it. Smile. That's the smile you went with? I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. We got to laugh to keep from crying.
Fucking, are you sure that's the smile you I'm giving you a chance to try again, guys. Like, come on, do better.
Totally kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really like y'all. Y'all are good people. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but you're definitely fun people.
Don't Google us. It'll pull up the rap sheet, and then we're screwed.
Yeah.
You Google me, you're never gonna find me.
That's
you're Kathy Ireland.
No,
yeah,
God.
I can't go back to Brazil, so.
You're from Brazil?
I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm just being a smartass.
Oh, gotcha. Word.
All right, Stephen, this was amazing. Guys, I hope you guys have as much fun listening to this episode as we had recording it, and there's going to be some awesome clips from this.
Word.
100%.
Yeah, when is this going to be posted? to your thing?
That's a good question.
Well, whenever you post clips on Instagram, I'll be a collaborator, so y'all get a bunch of views on it too. Collaborate, it'll be both of us on the same video, so people can also follow you from that video. So what you could do is just make the clips and invite me to be a collab, because you can do that on TikTok now as well. And then it'll get seen by my people and your people. And I think that'd be helpful. So do that.
Hey, look, I'm taking notes too.
Yeah, so whenever you put, and this could be helpful for whoever you interview next time. Whenever you post clips, invite them as a collaborator so their audience sees it as well, and you can get some new followers.
Oh, that's cool.
Helpful. My goodness, I'm worth something.
This was an exchange of helpfulness, because see, you're going to start doing your blind dates with a book.
Maybe we'll see. That's the hope.
You $10 to a donut. You're going to do at least one.
I'll do a test run. Yeah, a test date. We'll see if it works.
We'll see if it works.
All right, now I'm gonna have to separate you two.
You gotta move to the middle now.
All right, guys. We will see you on the next episode of L3. Talk to you later.
Bye, y'all.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us on this episode of Lemon's Listening Library. Remember, every story has a journey, and every journey deserves to be heard. Keep reading, keep writing, and keep listening,